There's not a single close one whom Donald Trump hasn't tricked. I mean, first, Elon Musk helped him win the election. And then those Indians who did have an puja, deep thinking, brainstorming, and basically Donald Trump at him. But it's a crazy story. In politics, you never know what's going to happen, when, where, or how. There was a time when America was all about howdy. Americans were chanting Modi, Modi, Modi. And back in India, it was all Namaste Trump. Both countries were showing off their friendship, and everyone believed they were becoming best friends. Donald Trump even called Modi a tough negotiator. They both used to smile. We also saw that picture where Modi ji is sitting and Donald Trump is pulling back his chair, smiling behind Modi ji while he's writing. But then times changed, feeling changed, situations changed, and it became clear that in politics, no one is truly anyone's friend. It's all about gains and losses. Donald Trump, who probably wanted to win a Nobel Prize, got upset when India didn't give him credit. Instead of the usual warm, Namaste India, Trump slapped a 25% tax on India, accusing them of having ties with Russia. They have ties with Iran, made some insulting remarks about India's economy, said that India and Russia's economies are dead. Just look at them. I don't care. I'll explore for oil in Pakistan, and maybe one day Pakistan will have to sell oil to India. The Pakistanis are smiling, but the world knows that Trump is putting pressure on India. But the question is, did all this happen suddenly? Is it just a coincidence that on the day Donald Trump wasn't credited for Operation Sindoor in India's parliament, that same day, tariffs and penalties were slapped on India? Is Donald Trump trying to show that India's progress depends on his approval and presence? Is he refusing to give India credit? Has Trump's jealousy caused this? Was all this friendship just for the elections? How will the taxes Trump imposed affect Indians? Will India suffer? Will the Indian economy weaken? Will there be job problems in India? What will happen? Will India break free from US pressure and come up with new policies, new allies, and new strategies? What will it do? Today in this video, I'll explain everything to you completely. But first, let me tell you how the 25% tariff that Donald Trump imposed on India will affect your pocket. So, what exactly is a tariff? First, you should know that a tariff is basically a kind of customs duty or tax that a country puts on foreign goods. For example, take a diamond from India that sells for only 1 lakh in the US. Now, if Donald Trump has slapped a 25% tariff on it, the price will go up to N1.25 lakh. Because of this, customers in the US will buy fewer diamonds from India. Exports will drop, and that will directly hit our economy. So it's obvious. Now that the price has gone up by N5 lakh, maybe someone will buy that diamond from another country. But the real question is, which sectors in India will feel the impact of this 25% tariff? Let me tell you, the biggest hit will be on the textile sector. Every year, India exports goods worth $15 billion. Due to the tariff, demand could fall by 20 to 30%, and the direct result will be that people's jobs will be at risk. Secondly, India's pharma sector, it will have an impact. India sends odd $1 billion worth of generic medicines to the US. Now, if the US buys them at higher prices, it's obvious that orders will drop. Companies will face losses. The third sector, the gem and jewelry industry, worth $9 billion, will also take a hit. Foreign customers will stay away because of the higher prices, and India's shine in the US will definitely dim. The auto parts and chemical sectors will be affected too. Orders from the US will decrease, leading to a drop in production and jobs. Besides that, the agriculture sector will also face problems there. Every year, India exports rice, shrimp, honey, and other products to the US. They send all kinds of products. When demand drops, farmers' income will take a hit too. Now, if we talk about the common man in India, it will affect your pocket as well, sir, because of Mr. Trump's decision. Due to the tariffs, when India's exports fall, it's obvious that the rupee will lose value against the dollar. When the rupee weakens, imported goods like petrol and diesel will get more expensive. Petrol could go up by N5 to N10 per liter, and this will directly impact the cost of your mobile phones, cars, groceries, and vegetables, because transportation costs will rise. The direct impact will be on petrol and diesel prices. The bigger impact will be on jobs. As we mentioned earlier, millions of people working in textiles, pharma, and the auto sector will be affected. The economy will take a hit too. Estimates show a loss between 61,000 to 72,000 crore rupees, which could cause the GDP to drop by about 4.5%, roughly a 30 billion decline. Now, this 25% tariff isn't just a tax. It's a burden that hits India's income, jobs, farmers, and your pocket. If such decisions keep increasing, things will only get worse. Prices will go up, unemployment will rise, the country's progress will slow down a bit. Many believe that Donald Trump did this just to trouble India. The Americans are coming soon. Before the talks happen at the table, Trump wants to pressure India, wants India to back down. But amidst all this, one thing is clear: America is not trustworthy. There's no one close to them whom they haven't cheated. Remember, it was America that created Osama bin Laden, that created Saddam Hussein. That's America for you. Never truly loyal to anyone. It builds up and then ruins what it builds. We haven't forgotten the wars of 1965 and 1971. Pakistan was attacking India and America was standing with them. In 1971, America really crossed the line. They sent their 7th Fleet to the Bay of Bengal to scare India. But India wasn't afraid anymore. We helped Bangladesh gain independence and showed that we won't back down or be intimidated. In fact, when India conducted nuclear tests in 1998, America once again chose to impose sanctions instead of friendship. Even then, India didn't give up. Russia stood by India back then, and India showed the world its strength. Now in 2025, just when we thought India-US relations were improving, Trump is playing the same old game. He's threatening India with penalties for buying oil and weapons from Russia. The truth is, Russia has always been there for India, and it doesn't seem like India will just abandon its most trusted friend out of fear. Besides, Trump is a two-faced guy. The world can see his hypocrisy clearly. We call Trump's behavior two-faced because his threats are just a big act. They're being hypocritical. Donald Trump said India is our friend, but it has high tariffs. India buys weapons and oil from Russia, which goes against our efforts to stop the Ukraine war. So, starting August 1st, we'll slap a 25% tariff and penalty on India. But there are a lot of flaws in Trump's threat. First off, he calls India's economy dead. But the truth is India's GDP is expected to hit 4.3 trillion by 2025. We have millions of startups and over 100 unicorns. That's not the sign of a weak country. That just can't happen in India. Now, about the relationship with Russia. Donald Trump, who's busy lecturing India on morality, is being totally hypocritical because the US itself trades with Russia. Billions of dollars worth of trade, including oil and uranium. So America looks out for its own business interests. But when India benefits from similar trade, suddenly it's a sin. That's why we say Uncle Trump is a total two-faced guy. Anyway, what can India do? That's the real question. They've already done their part. So what can India do now? After Donald Trump slapped a 25% tariff, India has plenty of moves to win this trade war. For example, India could hit back with its own tariffs. Let's see how that goes. Actually, the US has already put tariffs on several countries. Canada got hit, and they fought back hard, slapping tariffs on about 20 billion worth of American goods. Mexico did the same. Brazil even said straight up that if the US raises tariffs on their aluminum or steel, they'll respond in kind. The question is, why should India hang back? India can definitely give the US a taste of its own medicine. Tariffs should be increased on walnuts, apples, and lentils. But the problem is, this would make these items more expensive domestically, hitting our pockets because we buy these products from there. If tariffs go up, we'll end up paying more. The other option is to work out a trade deal through negotiations. Actually, on August 25, a big delegation from the US is coming to India. It's expected that by September or October, the first round of the India-US trade deal could be completed. India has already given several concessions, like the tax on Harley-Davidson bikes from the US. It's been reduced. Taxes on alcohol have been cut. But on issues like farming and dairy, India probably won't back down. Experts are also saying that this is just Donald Trump's nature. He threatens first, then softens up. In the end, taxes might settle around 10–15%. But amidst all this, like we said at the start, you can't really trust Trump or America. The US is India's biggest export market. That's a fact. But now India needs to look ahead. India will have to strengthen its ties with the European Union, Gulf countries, and ASEAN nations. Recently, India has made a trade deal with Britain, also made agreements with countries like Vietnam, Japan, and Indonesia. By boosting demand for Indian goods in these markets, we can reduce the impact of US tariffs. Besides that, we need to strengthen our own economy because if any external shock comes, having a strong home base is crucial. The government should encourage exporters by giving them tax breaks, subsidies, and cheap loans so they can compete globally. Keeping the rupee strong is important so our strength doesn't weaken against the dollar. And most importantly, the main thing is to make in India even stronger so that we import less and produce more within the country. That's the real sign of strength. Besides, we need to make diplomatic decisions. India has always made its own decisions, and this time too, the commerce and industry sectors have said they will protect our national interests no matter what. No matter how many threats Donald Trump makes, India knows that millions of people in the US are of Indian origin. Indian tech and business have a strong presence there, and the US government can completely ignore their voice. Meanwhile, with China's growing O, the US is scared of the impact. They know they need India to keep China in check. Trump raises taxes. Indian goods will become expensive in America, and people and companies there will protest. The truth is, Trump's threats aren't new. India has just changed its approach a bit. Now, India should focus on self-reliance as its main strategy. The challenge India faces is also an opportunity, a blessing in disguise, you could say, to make itself stronger and better. Trusting America has always been more harmful than helpful for India. That's how it is. India should now focus on boosting its factories and production capacity so it doesn't have to rely so much on imports. Despite Donald Trump's threats, India's real strength lies in its self-reliant mindset and smart strategies, a point even Mayawati has acknowledged. Initiatives like Make in India, the PLI scheme, and millions of startups are making India stronger every day. Today, India isn't just a buyer, but a global provider of technology, medicines, and talent. From the Quad to the V20 and G20, India's credibility has grown, and even the US recognizes how important India's IT sector is to its economy. How important this is? This is India's real trump card. Trump has made threats before. India faced America's threats back in 1998, and now India is way stronger than it was in 1998. This time, India won't back down, but will smartly counter every move Trump makes. Overall, Trump's announcement of a 25% tax and penalties is definitely a blow for India. But it's not a defeat. It's a chance to prove itself. Trump's strategy is clear: intimidate, apply pressure, then set terms at the negotiation table. But this time, Trump needs to be shown who he's dealing with. In India, India of 1998 or 1971 is not the same anymore. Today, India is one of the fastest growing economies in the world. We stand strong in technology, defense, diplomacy, on every front. We don't have to rely on the US anymore. We don't need to be scared of Donald Trump's tweets, retaliatory taxes, new markets, domestic production, digital power. These are our weapons. We need to move forward with them wisely, seeing this as an opportunity, and make India stronger. Now, India has to play every move carefully, so the losses are less and the impact is greater. Trump is making the mistake of underestimating India, but the real answer lies in the strength of our own startup farmers, engineers, and entrepreneurs. And yes, we need to understand that this fight isn't just the government's. It's ours too, as Indians. If we all stand together, no threat in the world can shake our confidence. This battle belongs to all of us, not just the government. It's time to stop blindly chasing foreign things and start embracing Indian brands to truly empower Make in India. No matter how many tweets Trump makes, India's real strength comes from our unity, confidence, and patience. So now, the question isn't what the government will do. She'll do what she's gonna do. But are we ready? Ready to take a small yet big step for the country, to give priority to India, to prioritize Indian goods. Let's see how it goes. What do you think? Will Donald Trump be able to trouble India? Experts we've heard and read say that Trump will slowly start behaving normally, come to his senses, and maybe reduce tariffs. But will India trust Trump again? I think America is a country you can trust. Can't do it. And like we said in the beginning, there's no close relative who hasn't been cheated by America or Trump. No.